So as we talked about that, apart from geological pre-formations, there are some other matters also. See, so causes of plate movement. I talked about the plate movements a little while ago. Now what is it? Plates at our planet's surface move because of the intense heat in the Earth's core. Understood? You know it pretty well, like when there is something cooked. What actually happens? Because of the heat, the water starts boiling and moving. You must have seen this,
Yes.
the boiling phenomenon. So like this, because of the intense heat, 6,000 degrees centigrade in the core of the earth, the temperature. Okay, so you can understand what kind of heat is experienced. So this is the thing. So because of intense heat in the earth's core, that causes molten rock. In the molten, you understand, melted to molten, that causes molten rock in the mantle layer to move. You must have observed in the previous class, you came to know about mantle and all. Okay, mantle layer to move. It moves in a pattern called convection cell that forms when the warm material rises, cools and eventually sink down. It rises, so the plates also, they cannot rise, so they move. You understand it? For example, let me tell you, have you seen the seed of anything? Say mango seed, this period. You try to squeeze it. You pressurize it from both sides, but it cannot be pressurized, and so it starts moving. This way or that way. You
Downwards.
understood now? So in the same way, the plates get pressurized from inside and from outside. It cannot go either inside or outside, so it moves. I hope it's clear now.
Yes.
The phenomenon is clear. As the cool material sinks down, it is warmed and rises again. The movement of the plates results in the building up of stresses within the plates and the continental rocks above, leading to folding, faulting and volcanic activity. Now what is volcanic activity? Folding, faulting, as I told you about it, coming towards, going away. Fold, fault. Clear? So, and then volcanic activity, you understand volcanic eruption. Whenever the materials coming, molten materials from inside the earth gets a chance to come out, finds a way out, it starts coming out. And this coming out is known as volcanic eruption. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now tectonic plate theory, it's also a theory because nobody can set a camera there and see things. Understood? It is just observed and based on the effect it is made, the conclusion is drawn. Clear? Let us see. Yeah, modern technology has like you may say it has somehow studied and it's like a proven fact now. Clear? So what is that theory? The tectonic plate theory describes the large-scale motion of the Earth's lithosphere, soil. Lithosphere. This theory is based on the continental drift, which explains the formation of various continents over millions of years. Clear? Over millions of years. Now plate boundaries. What is meant by plate boundary? Based on the relative movement between the tectonic plates, there are three types of plate boundaries. What are these? Convergent boundary. In this case, the two adjacent tectonic plates move towards each other. Adjacent tectonic plates move towards each other. As I showed you a little while ago, this is known as convergent boundary. I showed you movements. Then comes in divergent boundary. In this case, the two adjacent plates move away from each other. Divergent boundary. And the other one is transform boundary. As I showed you, this kind of movement, vertical movement. Clear? In this case, the two adjacent plates move along their borders. Clear to you? Move along their borders. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's have a look at this point. I have got images for you. Divergent boundary. Stand up is the best thing. Divergent plate boundary, they are going away. Clear? Transform plate boundary, like this, you must have seen.
Yes.
Results are what? Earthquake. Clear? And convergent plate boundary, you must have seen one coming closer to another, and you know, like plates, mountains and all. Clear? Point is clear?
Yes.
Good. Let's move on to the next point. There are many hypotheses, imaginary facts or imagination based ideas. There are many hypotheses regarding the origin of the Himalaya. However, there is almost a complete unanimity that the Himalayan mountains have come out of a great geosyncline called Tethys. There was a sea. Where there is Himalayas nowadays, there used to be a sea known as Tethys Sea. Just imagine, earlier there was a sea and now there is this highest mountain. This is the kind of change that can be brought back by nature itself. Clear? Tethys Sea. About 120 million years ago, there were only 2 big continents in the world. Just imagine, only 2 big continents. Today we have got 7 continents. There are only 2 big continents. Who are they? In the north was Laurasia or Angara land. And in the southern hemisphere, you understand, you cut the earth into two islands only. Sorry, 2 continents. And then in the northern part, you find Laurasia or Angara land. And in the southern hemisphere was Gondwana land. Okay, now what happened to Gondwana land? In between Laurasia and Gondwana land, there was a long, narrow, shallow sea called Tethys Sea. 2 lands, in between it, there was a long, narrow sea known as Tethys Sea. See, the earth today and the earth earlier. See the kind of differences that we experience. Clear? Sediments were brought by the rivers from these landmasses and deposited in the bed of the sea. Sediments were brought by the rivers from these landmasses and deposited in the, where was it deposited? Deposited in the bed of the sea. These sediments were subjected to the powerful compression force. You understand compression? Suppose I hold your hand and tighten it like this, you will feel the kind of compression. Clear? So exactly the same thing happened. The sediments were subjected to the powerful compression force from both the continents. This compression squeezed. You know how to squeeze a limbu pani, we squeeze and all, you know, or how to squeeze an orange. So compression, you understand? Sediments were brought by the rivers from these landmasses and deposited in the bed of the sea. These sediments were subjected to the powerful compression force from both the continents. This compression squeezed and crushed the sediments of Tethys, and series of folds were formed, one behind the other, giving rise to the highest relief features on the earth, the Himalayas. And as a result, what actually happened? Because of this, what happened? Sediments were brought by the rivers, so compressed. These sediments are subjected to the powerful compression force from both sides of the continent. You understand it?
Yes.
Both the sides had continents, and they pressurized on the sediments. Is that clear to you?
Yes.
And the result is what? As a result of it, series of folds were formed one behind the other, giving rise to the folds. You understand, steps, like steps, folds were, and then as a result we have the highest relief feature of the earth, known as the Himalayas. The curved shape of the Himalayas, convex to the south, is attributed to the maximum push offered at 2 ends of the Indian peninsula during the northward drift. It drifted. I told about drifting.
Yes.
So during this drift, the pressurizing was done, and the result is this. Clear? In the northwest, it was done by the Aravallis, and in the northeast by the Assam ranges. Assam ranges. So we are going to know about it, the boundaries of Himalayas. Recent studies show that India is moving northward at the rate of about 5 centimeter per year. India is moving northward. The whole country is moving. Can you imagine your house is moving? So it is observed that India is moving northward towards the northern part at the rate of 5 centimeter per year and crashing into the rest of Asia. Crashing. Clear? buckling the Himalayas between Ongara land and Gondwana land. This drift is providing instability to the Himalayan region, and as a result, the Himalayan region is experiencing a kind of instability. I hope the point is clear. Clear. Let us move on to the next factor. See, as I said, this is what is presented to you. Clear? Rivers, sea in the middle. Okay, sediment of the seabed, as we know in the story. See, plate movement from both the sides. As a result, there is compression by plate movement. You must have seen compression into rock. Tightening.
Yes.
You know, like when you make a laddu, you know laddus, what is done? We compress the powder kind of thing and thus make a hard laddu. Compression makes thing solid and tight. Clear? So this is exactly what happened. Now the result is what? As a result of even further movement. Earlier the plates moved, now it moved even further. And as a result, the compressed content start moving up. And the movement ultimately resulted into fold mountains because different layers are there. And then the highest one, the Himalayas. I hope the formation of the fold mountain and the formation of the Himalayas is clear now.
Yes.
This graphical presentation makes it even clearer.
Yes.
Let's move on to the next part. The Himalayan mountains, the real picture. The Himalayan mountains, the real picture. Hopefully it is clear to you. Let's move on to the next picture. The Himalayas are the youngest mountains in the world. Youngest because?
Because they form.
Yeah, not very early. Understood? So youngest mountains in the world and are structurally the folded mountain. Folds, you understand? Clear? Folded mountains. The Himalayas run along the northern border of India. We know northern border. India's map is clear to us.
Yes,
The map of
yes,
India.
yes, yes.
Okay. The Himalayas form an arc. You understand an arc?
Yes.
Arc, bow and all. Arc in geometry you find it. Arc, drawing an arc with a compass.
Yes.
So like this. The Himalayas form an arc which is about 2,400 kilometers long from north to south. Clear?
Yes.
Or east to west for India? For India it is north to south or east to west? East to west. Very good. So 2,400 kilometers long. The width varies from 400 kilometers in Kashmir to 150 kilometers in Arunachal Pradesh. I ask the question again. North to south or east to west? We are going to have a clear view of it in the next topic. Let's see. The altitudinal variation, altitudinal means height-based variations, are greater in the eastern part of than in the western part. Understood? In the eastern part you find more variation in height, whereas in the western part you won't find that much variation in height. Understood? There are 3 parallel ranges in its longitudinal extent. 3 parallel ranges. Up to this is clear?
Yes.
Some highest peaks of the Himalayas, let us see. Everest. Then comes in K2, Karakoram. Then comes in Kanchenjunga. Then Lhotse. Then Makalu. Then Choyo. Then Dholagiri. Then Manslu. Then Nanga Parbat. Done? These are the names. She is very happy listening to that name.
Yes, sir.
Everest. Then K2, that is Karakoram. Kanchenjunga, Lhotse, Makalu, Choyo. Then Dholagiri. Then Manslu, and then Nanga Parbat. Done? Over? Next. The great or inner Himalayas. Himalayas have many parts. Let's see. Be careful with the data. Later on we will have a dramatic presentation so that you can remember it. Okay. So, from the great or inner Himalayas. This is the northernmost range and is known as Himadri. What is it known as? Himadri. This is the most continuous range. Continuous, you understand? Continuous. Okay. With no variation, not much variation. It contains the loftiest peaks, highest peaks. The average height of peaks in this range is 6,000 meters. All the prominent Himalayan peaks are in this range. The folds of the great Himalayas is asymmetrical in nature, not symmetrical. Asymmetrical, does not match. And the core of this part is composed of granite. What is it made of? Granite. Because of the lofty heights, the peaks of this range are perennially snowbound throughout the year because it is higher zone. So throughout the year it's covered with snow. Understood? throughout the year it is covered with snow. Now the next part, the lesser Himalaya or
Himachal.
Himachal. What is it talked about? This lies towards the south of the Great Himalayas. See, name is Himadri, Adri, highest part, Himadri, Himachal. You have got a sari, apparel, and it has got an achal. So, Himachal. Achal, does it go down to your leg? Does it go down to your leg, achal of your sari? It does not go down to your leg. Does it touch your leg, feet?
No, sir.
No. So we have got another part after it. Understood? So Himadri, uppermost part, and then Himachal. Clear? Okay. This lies towards the south of the Great Himalayas. The altitude peaks in this range varies from 3,700 meter to 4,500 meter. See, there was no variation in the Greater Himalayas 6,000 meters, but in the Himachal there is variation from 3,700 to 4,500. Average width of this range is 50 kilometer. This range is mainly composed of highly compressed and altered rocks. Highly compressed and altered rocks. Clear? Next comes in the Shivaliks. This is the outermost range of the Himalayas, last part of the sari. Understood?
Yes.
So, outermost range of the Himalayas. The altitude varies between 900 and 1100 kilometer. Clear? In this range, and the width varies between 10 to 50 kilometer. Width. Height. Width. Like the size of your waist is the width. Clear? And your height. Understood? So, width varies between 10 to 50 kilometer. These ranges are composed of consolidated, solid, solidify or consolidate, consolidated sediments, dust. The longitudinal valleys lying between the Himachal and the Shivaliks are called Dun, Dehradun. Have you heard the name?
Yes.
Putli Dun. We'll come to know about the Duns. What is Dun? A Dun is a longitudinal valley lying between Himachal and Shivaliks. What is Dun? A longitudinal valley. Longitude, not latitude. Longitude. Longi, not lungi. Longitudinal valley lying between the Himachal and Shivaliks are called Dun. Now, Himalayan regions from east to west. Earlier we read about north to south. Now east to west. East to west. Okay. So let's know the names. East to west. We have got a song. Chand kya jis idhar se budhar se. What kind of song? I don't know. Chand nikalti hai jahan se. Sort of song is there. So east to west, the sun rises in the east. So sort of thing. So eastern part. We know the eastern part of India. Okay. First comes in Punjab Himalayas. This part lies between the Indus and the Satluj. Indus river. Most of it lies in Pakistan. And Satluj. Indus, Satluj. From west to east, this is also known as Kashmir Himalaya and Himachal Himalaya respectively. Okay, from west to east, it is known as Kashmir and Himachal Himalaya. Understood now? Now the second group, Himalayan regions. First group is known as Punjab Himalayas. Punjab Himalaya. Okay, next comes in Kumaon Himalayas. This part lies between Satluj and Kali. Earlier it was Indus and Satluj. Indus and Satluj, Punjab. Clear? Now Satluj and Kali, Kumaon. Clear? Now Kali and Tista, Nepal Himalayas. And then Tista and Dihang, Assam Himalayas. Hope it is clear. Let us repeat. Indus, Satluj. In between is Punjab Himalayas. Satluj to Kali. In between is Kumaon Himalayas. And then Kali and Tista is Nepal Himalayas. And Tista and Dihang is Assam Himalayas. I hope it is clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, eastern hills and mountains. The Brahmaputra marks the eastern border of the Himalayas. Brahmaputra marks the eastern border. What is the bordering line? Brahmaputra, the river Brahmaputra. Beyond the Dihang Gorge, the Himalayas bend. I will tell you the meaning of gorge later. I will show you rather. Beyond the Dihang Gorge, the Himalayas bend sharply. Bending sharply, you understand? We tell sharp turn. So bend sharply, like my hand. You see, it is bent sharp. Palm is bent sharp. Sharp. Okay. So bend sharply towards south from the eastern hills and Purbanchal. These hills run through the northeastern states of India. These hills run through the northeastern states of India. They are mostly composed of sandstone. What are they composed of?
Sandstone.
Sandstone. They are mostly composed of sandstones. These hills are composed of the Patkai hills, Naga hills, Manipuri hills and Mizo hills. Done? So, what is it about the eastern hills and the mountains? Brahmaputra marks the border. I am the border, Brahmaputra says. Okay. And beyond that, you will find Dihang Gorge. The Himalayas bend sharply towards the south. And from the eastern hills or Purbanchal. So what is that Purbanchal? These hills run through the northeastern states of India. We know the northeastern states.
Yes.
And actually the northeastern states are name many hills apart from Assam, except Assam. Okay. They are mostly, what are they? Patkai, not Patkati. Patkai, okay. Nagaland, Naga. Manipuri, you understand? So Manipuri hills and Mizo hills. Understood? Mizoram is actually Mizo hills. Nagaland is actually Naga hills. Manipur is Manipuri hills.
And
Patkai is like Dehing Patkai. Very good. Okay, done. So this is the concept. I hope it is clear. Let's move on to the next part. Have some images. Enjoy it. Nature in its beautiful form. Enjoy the beauty of nature. Got it? Enjoy it. Later on you will enjoy even better. Post the video when it will be sent in the group and watch and enjoy. Have some dreams like spending some time having a picnic there. Everything is possible. Actually in Karimganj also there are many places. We don't know them. That's the problem. We are busy watching movies, cinemas, this and that, and Mumbai Meri Jan sort of attitude we people have. So we don't see, we neglect the things that are there with us. Okay. Now, the northern plains of India. What are they? The northern plain. The northern plain of India is formed by three river systems. The Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra. Three river systems. What are they? Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra. Along with their tributaries. You know the tributaries? So river and their tributaries. This plain is composed of alluvial soil which has been deposited over millions of years. See, millions of years. The word is very small, million. But in reality it is. So, the total area of the northern plain is about 4 lakh square kilometers. What is it? 4 lakh square kilometers. It is about 2,400 kilometers long and about 240 to 320 kilometers broad. I hope it is clear.
Yes.
The total area of the northern plain is about 2 lakh square kilometers and it is about 2,400 kilometers long and about 240 to 320 kilometers broad spread. Understood? Yes. See the marked area in the map. This is 3 rivers, 1 to 3. One is Punjab Plains. We know Punjab Plains between Indus and Satluj. Then we have got the second one Ganga Plains and the third one Brahmaputra Plains. 1 to 3. Clear to you? Okay. So the northern plain is divided into 3 sections. Northern plain is divided into 3 sections as you said. Punjab Plains, Ganga Plains and the Brahmaputra Plains. Punjab Plains. What is it? Not Punjabi Bangla. Something else. The Punjab Plains form the western part of the northern plain. western part. We know a western part, India, western part of the northern plain. This is formed by the Indus and its tributaries like Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Satluj. Done. A major portion of this plains is in Pakistan. Doabs abound in this plain. There you will find many doabs. Doabs. So doabs. Understood? So doabs. Next comes in Ganga plains. The plain extends between Ghaggar and Tista rivers. Clear? The northern states, Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, part of Jharkhand and West Bengal lie in the Ganga plains. Clear? This plain extends between Ghaggar and Tista rivers. The northern states. Which are known as the northern states? Haryana. It is also known as northern belt. Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar and part of Jharkhand and West Bengal lie in the Ganga plains. Clear? Brahmaputra plains. This plain forms the eastern part of the northern plain and lies in Assam. We know the map of India.
Yes.
So quite naturally we understand where is Assam.
Yes.
Okay. So this plain forms the eastern part of the northern plain and lies where? In Assam. Brahmaputra. We know Brahmaputra. A few years ago there was a program Namami Brahmaputra. You must have heard of it. Like this Namami Barak in our valley.
Yes,
So Brahmaputra plain. Clear? That almost bisects Assam into two sections. Clear? So two parts. Let's see. Based on the relief features of the northern plain can be divided into four regions. Vavar, Terai, not Teri, Terai, Vavar, Terai, Bhangar, Khadar. So what is Vavar? After descending from the mountains, the rivers deposit pebbles in a narrow belt. Pebbles, you understand?
Yes. Small stones.
Small stones I can throw on your head and your forehead and you will start bleeding. Don't come late, otherwise I will throw stones. So, after descending from the mountains, the rivers deposit pebbles in a narrow belt. The width of this belt is about 8 to 16 kilometer. Width, waist belt,
Breadth.
width, so breadth. So width of this belt is about 8 to 16 kilometer and it lies parallel to the Shivaliks. Shivaliks, we know the name.
Yes.
Himadri, Himachal, Shivalik. So Shivaliks. This region is known as Vavar. Vavar. All the streams disappear in this region. All the rivers say, we have no existence there. They die and cry. Okay. So understood, Babar?
Yes.
Now comes in Terai, not Teri, Terai. Let's see what is that. This Terai region lies towards south of the Babar belt. In this region, the streams reappear and make a wet. So earlier they die, then they reappear. Hey, I'm alive, not dead. So reappear and make a wet, swampy, marshy region. Wet, swampy, marshy region. Shavla, you understand? We say. So like this, contents like this can be seen. Next comes in Bangar. Bangar, not Banga. Bangar. Bangar. Okay. Bangar is the largest part of the northern plain and is composed of the oldest alluvial soil. Oldest, not the Dima Takuma. Oldest. Okay. Oldest alluvial soil. They lie above the flood plains. They resemble terraces. The soil of this region is locally known as Kankar and is composed of calcareous deposits. Calcium is there, but you cannot eat it for calcium. Okay, so Bhangar. Then comes in Khadar. Khadar. The flat plains formed by younger alluvium, so alluvial, younger alluvium are called Khadar. What is Khadar? The flat plains, the plains formed by flood water. Flat plains. Okay. Flat plains formed by younger alluvium are called Khadar. The soil in this region is renewed every year. Every year it gets renewed, like your dresses, and is thus highly fertile because high humus content is there in it. I hope it is clear to you.
Yes.
Clear to you. Northern plains. Have a look at this image. Because we are going to wind up the discussion because in 30 minutes time, no one has the patience to watch more than 30 minutes at one go. So we have to stop it here. We'll have another video after that. Okay, I'm going to Windy Tap. It will be uploaded in the YouTube. Then we'll have another video uploaded. All the links will be shared in the group. And all will enjoy. Some will enjoy sitting at home. You can enjoy going sitting at home after attending this class here. So tata bye bye for this time. So sorry, over. That's all.